Hey there, this is Ashley, your host for the Ready, Set, Depart podcast. Do you want to make some memories and travel with your family? It's not as hard as you think. Let's go! Hello and welcome to episode 29 of the Ready, Set, Depart podcast. We are so glad you're here. Today, we're going to go north of the border to talk a little bit about Victoria, Canada. Victoria is situated at the very southern tip of Vancouver Island, British Columbia. In fact, it's the capital of British Columbia, which is the farthest west province of Canada. Victoria sits right on the ocean, the Strait of Juan de Fuca to be exact, and because of that, it has mild weather, though winters can be chilly, and sunny a lot of the time. It also reminds me a lot of England, which is definitely a plus for me. So let's talk about the perfect itinerary for a long weekend in Victoria, BC. This itinerary is perfect for families who love wildlife, museums, and being near the water, especially if this is your first trip to Canada and you want something that feels easy and approachable. Here's a travel tip. Don't forget your passport. No matter how you enter Canada, your whole party will need passports. While you could technically fly into Victoria, I think the most fun way to get there is on the Victoria Clipper, a high-speed catamaran ferry that takes you from Seattle to Victoria in just under 3 hours. I can hear you asking, but Ashley, why would we want to take a boat rather than just fly there? One word, my friends, whales. Okay, maybe 2 words, and dolphins. Is that 3 words? However many words it is, the wildlife you can see from your seat is well worth the early morning trip. And they have some amazing packages complete with hotel stays, so the Clipper is a wonderful way to go. Here's a travel tip. The Clipper often shuts down after Christmas until early spring, so keep that in mind when you're planning your trip. Because honestly, most of Victoria shuts down about the same time. But why am I so sure you'll see whales and or dolphins? Well, for one, I did when I took the Clipper. There was a whole pod of white-sided dolphins that kept us company for a while. And depending on the time of year, you could also see gray whales, sometimes, humpback whales, and my favorite, orca. So if you think about a map of the Salish Sea, and if you go to our website, you can see that map and we'll see what I'm talking about. The Salish Sea goes from Olympia, Washington in the south, to Campbell River, British Columbia in the north, and the Strait of Juan de Fuca in the west. And it is home to the southern resident orcas. You know, the ones that feed on salmon, so they're around all the time? And up near the San Juan Islands and Victoria is where they spend much of their summers. One time, my mom and I went on a whale watching tour in the San Juans, and we came upon a super pod. That means that there were at least 2 pods there at the same time. There were about 40 orca in this harbor that we were in, and the sound they made as they came up to breathe will be a memory I hold dear forever. The Salish Sea is also home to not only humpbacks, grays, and orca, but minke whales, harbor porpoises, and the tiny little Dall's porpoise. Well, at 6 feet in length, compared to me, they're still big, but compared to other whales and dolphins, they are tiny. I could talk about cetaceans all day, but this is my favorite part of the Victoria Clipper. Plus, they serve you little food, and the views out of your window are glorious. Here's a travel tip. The one thing that makes the Victoria Clipper a little less than ideal is that you won't have a car once you get to Victoria. This isn't a huge deal, but if you'd rather drive your own car, and remember that the signs are in kilometers per hour, you can totally do that from Port Angeles, Washington on the Olympic Peninsula. The Black Ball Ferry is a huge ship that you can drive your car onto. We've done it a couple of times, but the most memorable time was when we went to Victoria in December. Trooper was about 18 months old, and at the end of our super fun trip, there was a huge windstorm going through the Strait of Juan de Fuca, which is where the Blackberry Ferry goes. The boat was rocking so badly that it was hard to walk. I get pretty motion sick, so I was just trying to survive when Trooper looked at me and threw up all over me. It was intense. While I kept it down, most other people on the ship did not. And while that doesn't happen all the time, honestly, mostly in the fall and winter is when we get these big windstorms, it does happen, so keep that in mind. To catch the Victoria Clipper, you'll need to first fly into SeaTac Airport. It's called SeaTac because it's in between Seattle and Tacoma. It's about a half-hour drive with no traffic from SeaTac to the pier where you'll catch the Clipper. Here's my suggestion. Fly in late on Thursday night, find a hotel close to Pier 69 in Seattle, and then you'll be close to catch the 8 a.m. ferry to Victoria. You'll arrive in Victoria around 11 a.m., just in time to find your hotel and a snack because today you're going to have afternoon tea at the Empress Hotel. The Empress Hotel has been dominating the harbor since 1904, and it is still a wonder to behold. And every day they serve afternoon tea along with scones and sandwiches. It is an elegant meal that is an amazing experience. Here's a travel tip. If you want to go but you don't normally drink tea, they do also have a sampling of herbal teas that are quite lovely, plus a children's menu for those who are 5 to 12 years old. However, I realize that a fancy afternoon tea may not be on everyone's list, so if you'd rather do something else on your first day in Victoria, may I suggest the Beacon Hill Children's Farm. Just a 20-minute walk or bus ride from the harbor is this amazing farm that boasts pigs, chickens, guinea pigs, goats, donkeys, a farm cat named Elsie, and more. There's even a petting zoo that you and your kids can go to. Note that they do close after Christmas for winter break, but they open again in the spring, and what better time to visit a farm than in the spring? Once you've visited the animals or sipped some tea with your pinky out, what should you do now? Remember, we believe in one big event a day, but if you still have some energy, here are a few other places in the area. Beacon Hill Park, where the farm's located, has a lot of great walking paths you could trek. On a clear day, the views are amazing. Or head on over to Miniature World. They are the self-proclaimed greatest little show on earth. Whether you want to see a tiny version of London, the Swiss Family Robinson tree, or Camelot, this is a fun indoor adventure sure to please your kids. If you want to see some more small things, then the Victoria Bug Zoo is the place to go. Now, I'll be honest, bugs are not really our thing, so I can't say anything about the Bug Zoo from a personal standpoint, but the website is nice and kind of creepy, but only because there's a lot of big bugs on it. Now it's time to find a little dinner and go back to your hotel room for some rest. Saturday morning, you're going to go to Butchart Gardens. I know that sometimes a garden is not your child's favorite place, but this garden has a lot to see and do. In fact, each season brings something new. From Christmas lights to Easter bunny hunts, Butchart Gardens is a fun stop, and you can take a double-decker bus there from downtown Victoria. Just go to the Butchart Gardens website and click Plan Your Visit and How to Get Here, and you can find the tour bus website. But if gardens aren't your thing, you can also go to the Butterfly Gardens in Brentwood Bay. That's about a half an hour north of Victoria and quite near Butchart Gardens. And it's so much more than just butterflies. They have fish, birds, and poison dart frogs. You can take a bus here from Victoria or take a taxi or Uber. But if you want to do both of the gardens, there is a tour for that too. Once you get back to Victoria, if you still have some energy, why not take a horse-drawn carriage tour of the city? Could be fun. All right, here we are on Sunday morning, and today is the day to go to the Royal BC Museum. With 3 floors of collections on display, this museum is like the best natural history museum you've been to. Famous for the life-size mammoth on display, your family will learn all about the people, animals, and plants that call this area home. This is a great stop on a rainy morning, or if you have a curious kid like Trooper. After the museum, it may be time for a little downtime. Or you could take a walk along the inner harbor in the front of the Empress. Maybe even take a little harbor taxi to see what you can see. But don't forget that the last Victoria Clipper bound for Seattle leaves at 5 p.m. Once you're back in Seattle at about 7:45 p.m., you can check back into your hotel and prepare for your flight out Monday morning. So, what do you think about this itinerary for beautiful Victoria, BC? You and your family will fall in love with this quaint city and the surrounding beauty. I just know it. Go to our website to download the itinerary for yourself. And as always, let's keep making travel with your family easier, one trip at a time. See you next time. Thank you for listening. If you like this podcast, be sure to share it with your friends or even leave us a review so others can find it. Follow us on Instagram at Ready Set Depart Podcast. This is Ashley with Ready Set Depart. Remember, traveling with your family and making memories is not as hard as you think. See you next time.